welcome to the regular council meeting of District of Summerland. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. It's on, I think.
No, now it is.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay, sorry, thought that thing was on. So with the minutes, are there any errors or omissions that anybody's picked up on? Okay, could I have a motion to adopt the minutes of May 23rd, et cetera, down to June 8th? Councillor Peak, Councillor Holmes, thank you. All in favor? Carried. Any amendments to our agenda this evening? None, eh?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's no late items or anything, but there's a couple of addendums that were just added to the agenda on Friday after it was originally circulated. Item 11.1, the DVP for 14211 Bristow Road. A letter was received from Heather and Gerald Main in opposition of the DVP, and that is included in the agenda package now. As well, item 11.4, the Banks Crescent update. The staff report was added as well on Friday afternoon. And that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Got a motion to adopt the agenda?
Got a question.
Go ahead.
Just a question on the agenda. The last council meeting, it was raised that we'd have a discussion item on the environmental assessment for Banks Crescent. I don't see it on the agenda. I was wondering, will we be having that?
Mr. Planner?
I didn't recall receiving that request at the last council meeting, so we have not prepared discussion. The report was prepared and presented to council at the last meeting, so it's part of your package. But no, we haven't prepared for discussion today specifically on that topic. No.
Because we got a late the last meeting just before the meeting, and when we talked about it, that we didn't have time to really read it and review it, that it would be brought as a discussion item for this meeting. I believe the CAO you said that.
We certainly could have a discussion on it. It's been available and on the website since the last council meeting, so we could answer any questions that may come forward on that.
Certainly, it can be discussed as part of the report. However, if there's also more work that council would like to see Mr. Strachan do as far as similar to the OCP presentation where there was more background, you would have to prepare that next time. But certainly to have a conversation about it is appropriate.
It's not part of our package tonight.
Well, it's part of the Banks Crescent so the report from Mr. Strachan's not, but as an item for discussion it is.
Okay.
So we're okay to bring it up at that point?
Yeah.
When we're talking about Banks Crescent? Thank
Sure.
you.
Okay. So a motion to adopt the agenda, please. Councillor Barco, Councillor Trainer, thank you. All in favor? It's carried. Okay, we're moving into item 4, public and statutory hearings. And so I'd like to call the public hearing to order for zoning bylaw amendment for 14600 Cartwright Avenue, bylaw number 2017-005. So I'm going to outline the public hearing process right now and go as follows. This public hearing is being held pursuant to Section 465 of the Local Government Act. During this public hearing, anyone who believes that his or her interest is affected by the proposed development will be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present written submissions respecting matters contained in the bylaws that are the subject of this hearing. All information, correspondence, petitions, or reports that have been received concerning the subject bylaws have been made available to the public. Council may ask questions of staff and public, but once the public hearing is over, no new information can be received. Council debate on the bylaw will take place when the bylaw is considered after the conclusion of the public hearing. At that time, any questions of staff will be for clarification only. I will be inviting the public to come forward and present their comments. Speakers are asked to state their name and address for the record, and speakers are encouraged to limit their remarks to 5 minutes and should include all of the relevant information in their presentation. Further opportunity will be afforded for all persons to speak a second or third time once all persons have had an opportunity to speak. Now ask the Director of Development Services to introduce the item, please. Mr. Strachan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As noted, we have a public hearing for 14600 Cartwright Avenue. The public hearing is related to a vacant parcel to rezone it for the purposes of a 22-lot strata subdivision. As Council will recall, this application came forward with two components, a single-family component as well as a multifamily component. And at Council's meeting in May, they agreed to remove the multifamily component of it, leaving just the single-family and the rezoning for that property for residential development. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any correspondence relative to this?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There was one piece of correspondence that was included in the agenda from Jan Schumacher, but there has been nothing else that has been received since.
Thank you. So we'll proceed and be providing opportunities for input from the public. So I'm asking for the first time, for those in attendance, anybody like to present their views for the first time? Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. My name is Brad Alenko. I'm with McElhaney Consulting Limited. I am the agent for the owner of the property, and my address is 19433 95th Street in Osoyoos. Mr. Mayor and Council, as you're aware, this application's got a little bit of history, and the owners have taken it upon themselves to listen attentively to the comments and concerns of the neighborhood. They've removed the controversial portion of the application and decided to proceed, proceed only with the single-family portion of the project. I understand that the owners and developers have had some contact with the strata president, the adjacent strata president, and two council members, as well as with some of the other members in the neighborhood to discuss any of their comments and concerns. And I just want to make a few comments, if I can, in support, justification for this application. The present application is simply an amendment to rezone a portion of land adjacent to the existing RSH zone single-family residential strata development to the same RSH zone. The proposed rezoning and residential development will be consistent and compatible with the adjacent, existing, and surrounding zoning and development. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the land uses permitted in the current MDR OCP designation on the property, and therefore the proposed zoning for the property is consistent with the district's land use direction for the property. The proposed zoning has been scaled back from its original proposal by eliminating the previously proposed and controversial multifamily townhouse component. There was little or no opposition to the single-family residential strata portion of the development expressed by the public that attended the April 20th public open house. Early in the planning stages of the Cartwright development, the owners prepared a concept plan for marketing purposes showing how the Cartwright development could look at build-out. This concept shows the proposed single-family development, so really there should be no surprise to the adjacent owners that this development would be coming forward for approval. Servicing requirements for the proposed single-family residential strata development will be dealt with in cooperation with the District of Summerland during the subdivision stage. And Your Worship, those are the comments that I'd like to present to Council at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. So for a second time, is there anybody in attendance would like to present their views on this particular topic? Okay, for a third time, is there anybody here who would like to speak to this topic? Okay, thank you. Council, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn the public hearing, please. Councillor Boot, thank you. Councillor Peak. All in favor? Motion carries. There's no further public input and council does not wish to have a further staff report, then,
Yeah, no, you could.
Pardon me?
You adjourned it. That's
okay,
fine.
that's it? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, moving on to item number 6. Opportunity for the, oh, pardon me, I almost missed the Chamber of Commerce, sorry. Right at the bottom of the page. So, Christine, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Waterman, councillors, and district staff. I'm Christine Petco, I'm the Executive Director for the Chamber of Commerce here in Summerland, and we're here this evening to make the first of our biannual presentations to Council for 2017. With me this evening is our President, Eric Thompson, and Director, Carrie Harding. And I want to begin the presentation tonight by sharing the most recent addition to the Chamber's video library. So please watch with me while we see Summerland writer Sophia Jackson sharing her Summerland story.
Just hit spacebar.
Book lover, baking club member, maker of a fine peach and ginger cobbler, and this is my locals pick. Many people visit Summerland exclusively in the summer, but to truly appreciate how abundant this community is, you need to be here through all 4 seasons. How else will you know the way the cherry trees blossom in the spring, or the feeling you get when you see the fruit stands open their doors with the first offerings of the year? How in the fall we feast, our collective gardens overflowing with glorious things to eat. How we come to know the farmers and the winemakers by name. Some of the most renowned fruit growers in the country are literally our neighbors. In the winter, we climb into the hills and look down on the abstract beauty of the sleeping vineyards, then descend to drink hot coffee and warm cafes. And we are surrounded by artists who feed our gratitude for this incomparable slice of the Okanagan. They take everything about Summerland and present it back to us in tiny reflections that say, look at how beautiful this is. And we say, we know, but show us again anyway.
Nice.
Wait. Where's the next presentation going then? Is it, there should be. This is the challenge of bringing 2 separate things on the on the stick this week.
No dress rehearsal.
That's the right one, yeah. Okay.
So you'll just need to page down for her.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let's see. Okay. American author and public speaker Nancy Duarte says that stories are the emotional glue that connect our audiences with our message. The video that we've just shown you certainly does that through a compelling story told in a visual and meaningful way. Visitors to our websites who see a video like this usually respond by thinking, I would like to visit or live in Summerland. And our thanks to ET2 Media also for producing that beautiful video. At the Summerland Chamber of Commerce, we have many audiences that we speak to on a daily basis, and we work to ensure that our message and our mission is consistent across all our audiences. That mission is to market the community of Summerland and to serve our membership through advocacy, promotion, and education. The world is evolving in how we receive information and embrace new ideas. Marketers recognize the truth of that quote on the screen. We must tell great stories in order to connect. Tonight, I want to talk with you for a few minutes about how the Chamber is sharing our Summerland stories in the areas of tourism, economic development, and services to our members. In our community, like many in the Okanagan, tourism is the entry point for people to say, we'd love to live here. So how is our Summerland story communicated to a tourism audience. First, we create and manage an image bank of more than 1,000 compelling photos, so we have the pictures we need to share our stories. We manage the digital platforms that we use to communicate our story to our visitors. These include the Summerland Chamber and the Tourism Summerland websites, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest accounts, as well as a blog. We share our stories in person at the Visitor Center, where a number of services are available to our guests. And in 2016, we created a mobile downtown visitor center at the corner of Main and Henry. And our thanks to the District of Summerland for working with us to make that happen. In these two locations, we're able to share the stories of our local restaurants, attractions, trails, and accommodators with a little over 14,000 guests in 2016. We also have created what we've been told a number of times is a best-in-class visitor guide. In 2016, we launched a new format where in each section, Summerlanders, including some of you here, have shared their very personal stories along with a photo and a social media handle. These sections are called Locals Picks, and they are hugely popular with readers. For almost 30 years, the Chamber and the District, along with many other community partners, have been creating a vibrant holiday story around the Festival of Lights. In the past 5 years, the event has tripled in vendors and sponsorship involvement and doubled in attendance. We also have exciting plans for this coming year, the 30th anniversary of Light Up, which will be on Friday, November 24. So I hope you'll all be there. So how does storytelling look when it comes to retaining our local businesses and attracting new business? We end up changing our focus a little bit here and concentrating on those who might want to move to Summerland and to invest. We build regional stories with other communities and partners to reach an even wider audience. These partnerships are local, regional, and provincial. We also support businesses here in town by encouraging local shopping. This past year, the Chamber told the stories of 10 different Summerland businesses and owners and why they not only operate their businesses locally, but why they also shop locally themselves. Called Discover Home, that campaign had more than 40,000 views over social media and raised awareness in the community of the value of moving at least part of our shopping dollars here to local businesses. And we continue to build on this campaign by encouraging new investment in our community from newcomers who want to write their own stories here as well. As the Chamber of Commerce, we also celebrate the stories of our close to 700 members. We listen to their business concerns and we act to support them with those. We provide opportunities for networking and education. We provide a variety of benefits to make running their businesses easier, and we share their accomplishments widely. Due to time constraints, this is not a highly detailed presentation. Much more information is contained in the additional presentation that was provided in your packages this evening. There are about 40 more slides there for you to look at and view when you have time to do that. To conclude, we believe that telling our amazing Summerland story to our members, our investors, and our visitors has been a winning strategy for the Summerland Chamber of Commerce and for Tourism Summerland. We very much appreciate the District of Summerland for their close partnership with us in this work. And now I'll just turn your attention for a moment to the Chamber's financial information for the year. And again, there is more detailed presentation in the longer presentation, which was part of your package. And so in 2017, you'll see that the budget for the year is $356,653, about just about a 7% increase over last year. And there are two areas in particular where the percentage numbers sort of jump out at you. The first is the HRDC grant, which is the Summer Student Canada grant. We never budget for that in advance back in December because we can never be sure if we're going to receive it or not. So in 2016, we did get those funds, and you'll see that was 41,000, or pardon me, I wish, 4,180. And so that's why that's 100% difference from what we had originally budgeted. The same is going to show up in 2017 because we did not know whether we would receive those funds, but in fact, about 4 weeks ago, we did receive word that we had funds a little more than last year, so we were able to hire 2 students this year rather than 1, and we were able also then to support the Rotary Sunday Market by donating some of those hours each week to their marketing efforts as well, to share the wealth a little bit. And the other item on there is the sales and function revenue. In the past, when we receive additional economic development funds for specific projects that we work on with the district, those funds have shown up across a number of different lines, and this year we thought we would be better able to represent them if they were all in one place. And so they are showing as sales and function revenue, and that's why that line is substantially different than it was last year. You'll see a corresponding change in the disbursements here, where advertising and promotion is also up, and that's where those same funds for economic development work that we do with the province, that's where the disbursements are showing up. And there's a few changes in percentages that are further down that you'll see, but the actual numbers corresponding are fairly low, so those changes in percentage are not terribly meaningful. The only different one is events, where, you know, we have some different projections in our event budget for the coming year. So that was for disbursements for Gala and then also for Festival of Lights. And as you see, we run a fairly tight ship. We had a small surplus of, I think, $27 in 2016, and we're projecting a whopping $22 going into the 2017 budget. And that is my presentation. So again, there's lots more detail in the other presentation in your packages, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Thank you, Christine. Any questions, Council? Councillor Holmes.
Thanks, Christine. Just for your second student that you have this summer, did you plan to have make that change, or is it?
We always make a request
For
what
you-
we might hope to receive. And
Right.
this year, because Canada Summer Students had an increase in their budget partly for Canada 150 types of activities, we ended up getting 2, where in the past we never have actually received that second student before. And so it also allowed us to increase our downtown mobile kiosk hours as well. So each day somebody will be downtown longer and we have a 5-day run now as well. So that's been a help for sure.
But you've always requested funding for 2, or
Yes,
yeah?
yes,
Oh,
we
okay.
have, yeah, and there have been years where we received nothing at all.
Yeah.
So last year, we were really pleased to see that, and now this year again.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Councillor Peak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Reflection on having a kiosk downtown. I wonder if you could make any comments on how that was received and what kind of feedback you got from that last year.
Yeah, it was, I think, it was a very positive experience. Now, last year, we were able to go to 5 days from 3 days, which we had done in 2015, and that was because we got a summer student, and then we also had some student volunteers. So we went to the 5-day, and we did 3 days we did 3 hours per day for those 5 days. And so the difference was about an extra 1,200 guests from summer 2015 to summer 2016. And I think the total then that was seen downtown last year was around 2,700 people who stopped at the downtown kiosk. So it was very well received.
Good. Thank you very kindly.
Anybody else? Okay, could I have a motion to receive the Chamber's presentation, please? Councillor Peak, Councillor Holmes. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much, and
Thank
thank you,
you.
Christine. I liked that video. It was great. Okay, moving on to number 6. It's an opportunity for the public to comment on any highlighted item in our agenda. So if anybody would like to come forward, they can do that now, please.
Oops. Tripped. Make sure everybody's
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Donna Wall, Latimer Avenue, Summerland. I'm here on behalf of the Summerlanders for Sensible Development, here to present a further 136 actual signatures, and we have another one, extra signature online, bringing our total to date as of June 12th, 2017. The grand total is 2,437 signatures. Excuse me. Unfortunately, due to the glitches of modern technology and my printer not working and the demands of a busy family, I have neither a cover letter or an envelope. It's been a crazy day. I just would like to add one thing. I did love the comment on those slides that Summerland is a piece of paradise, and it really is, and I hope it stays that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak to any of the highlighted items in the agenda? Okay, moving forward, we'll move on to my report. First, I would like to again thank our staff and residents that have worked long, hard hours to deal with the current and ongoing flooding that is happening in the district. This situation is unprecedented, and the lake level is stable or only rising minimally at this point. Some are concerned as to how could the levels have reached as high as they did, especially when we have the capacity to control lake levels. The provincial staff responsible for determining flows required to avoid flooding, or the reverse, to ensure that levels are not drawn down too far to initiate any drought scenarios, are extremely experienced. The late heavy snow, cool delayed spring, with heavy rains followed by sudden temperatures in the high 20s and low 30s created a very unique situation. But at the same time, I know that the staff involved and others will be looking at and assessing the process that everybody went through this year. It was extremely gratifying to see how everybody pitched in with squads of neighbors helping each other in these very difficult circumstances. And I think our CIO will maybe allude to a little bit more as we move towards some cleanup. Soon we will be assessing the damage and determining the restoration required. In addition, I think we've all learned a great deal. I'd like to thank Councillor Peak for filling in for me at Action Festival as I was away attending Federation of Canadian Municipalities Convention. Thank you.
It was fun.
In Ottawa.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. In addition, I'd like to thank Acting Mayor, Councillor Aaron Traynor, for taking my place at the opening ceremonies of last weekend's Bluegrass Festival. Thank you very much. That's my report. Thank you. CAO.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to continue on with about the flooding, just for council's update, it was 343.25 meters this morning. It's fluctuated between 343.23 and 343.25 since last Monday. So it's steady, but not decreasing too much right now. The upper snow is not such a factor anymore, and there's more water being released. It's just a matter now of no large rain events and no large wind events. As you probably know, late last week, wind wreaked havoc. A large, quick onset of south wind really destroyed a number of walls that had been very well built, and it just showed us how quickly the situation can change. And I think that's what some people are forgetting right now, is we're stabled and everybody's well armored. But a strong north wind for some properties or a strong south wind can change that immediately. And we went from 3 properties in South Trout Creek of being fully armored to the water completely going through one house and very narrowly missing the other two houses. And our crews and a number of volunteers worked very quickly, but the one house really got hit, and that was just from the wave action and the strength of the waves. Our Tiger Dam suffered quite a bit of damage this weekend. Well, not damage, four holes. It's just from the constant movement and wave action and all the debris in the lake hitting it. So that caused quite a bit of, there was a lot of concern on Saturday night. There was quite a bit of wind that came up, and that was more of a coming from the north, and the Tiger Dam and other areas, and then the groundwater came up high again. So, but two new pieces of information. We did do our first set of water quality testing last week. So a week ago Friday, we got the results on Friday. And at this point in time, our levels are safe for swimming. Swimming would be deemed very dangerous in that there's a number of submerged obstacles and structures underground, and the conditions can change quickly, but the water, as we test it in this summertime at our beaches, is currently within the safe zones. Attention is started to shift towards recovery and advanced planning for recovery. It's a concern. We're starting to see a number of phone calls. What are we going to do? How do we handle the sandbags? So the messaging right now is that all armoring and sandbags must be kept in place until the local authority, which would be the district, suggests that they should be moved. We're working with the province, unified through the whole valley, to try to receive assistance to be able to remove the sandbags for residents. So it's not confirmed yet, and the program's not fully in place, but that's what we're hoping, is that we're going to get the resources to be able to methodically remove, safely dispose. Sandbags must not be just emptied out into their location that needs to be assessed, et cetera, first of all. So more to come on that. That's really, again, I think Mary Waterman said it, that thanks to our staff and the fire department and the volunteers and just the people that are in really perilous situations, and the hard work they're doing to even just to help others as well as themselves. On other notes, the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, there will be an open house on Tuesday, June the 20th, that's 7 to 9 p.m. At the Arena Banquet Room. And there will also be an open house for the Giants Head Trails Redevelopment Plan. That's our project in conjunction with the Rotary. That one's on June 15th, 6:30 to 9:30 at the Arena, with a formal presentation at 7 o'clock. So there's lots happening in the Parks and Recreation world. And although a lot of our conversation revolves around the flood and how much of our time is being spent coordinating and dealing with the flooding, there's lots of other things going on. The Garnet Valley Water Separation and Road Improvement project is continuing, and the grit removal project at the wastewater treatment plant got underway in the last couple of weeks as well. And lastly, I'm just in the initial stages of working with staff we'd like to do an update to council on all the department's progress over the first half of 2017. So we're hoping in early July to make a presentation with all the departments to council so that you can get an idea of what's been going on.
Great.
And
Thank you very
that's it.
much. Yeah, just one, excuse me, one additional note. I know one of my neighbors is a fireman, and I guess they got a call that somebody in Trout Creek was having a lot of trouble and wasn't able to manage the sandbags and so on. And got a crew of half a dozen firemen down there, and they were able to deal with the situation in about half an hour, whereas the gentleman himself would have been struggling for hours trying to do anything. So it's particularly noted that the crew's just up. I think that was late Saturday.
That was Saturday. We had a number of works crews and fire department crews out.
So they just went out and got the job done, and gets done quickly when you've got a bunch of young guys that are willing to work hard. So it's great. No unfinished business. Okay, carrying on. Item 10.1, correspondence. Council, anything any one of you would like to bring forward this evening? Councillor DeBoot.
Just one thing, there are a number of letters in there, correspondence that we received from people about the proposed compost
Yes.
facility. I just want to remind residents of Summerland that this is an RDOS project, but we in Summerland have the right to say yay or nay. So we're early in the process. We're speaking about it at the RDOS table, but it still has to come forward to Summerland Council and the residents of Summerland to make that determination.
Yeah,
Okay.
and only if the RDOS board makes the choice of
Ex-
Summerland as one of the sites.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Just
Anybody
for
else?
clarification.
Okay, could I have a motion to receive, please? Councillor Barkle, seconder. Councillor Trainer, thank you. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. 10.2, commission minutes. Anybody like to bring that forward for receipt, please? Councillor Barkle. Councillor Peak, thank you very much. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we're moving to 11.1, Development Services Reports. Mr. Strachan, DVPs.
Mayor, the first variance application we have this evening is a development variance permit for 14211 Bristol Road. The application is to increase the height allowance within the zoning district from 9.5 meters up to 12 meters in order to construct a single-family dwelling on the site. The site does include an area of red zone within it. The bottom 2/3 of the property is within the red zone, so they're required to get a development permit for developing within that area and do so under the supervision of a geotechnical engineer. So within your package, you'll see the geotechnical report on what they need to do in order to build the home within this area. The height difference is quite significant on the downhill side. However, on the uphill side, facing towards Bristow, is a single story, approximately 5 meters in height. The house itself will be approximately a meter lower than the road surface. So when you see the elevation for the building, that would be about a meter lower than the road itself, reducing the impact. The downhill side is the higher elevation which the variance is required for. This is related to the topography here. The further you move back on the property, the steeper it gets, and the requirement for the variance is to bring the elevation of the first floor to a level where they can have a driveway at 12% and still access the garage. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any correspondence?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a letter in opposition from Heather and Gerald Main, which has formed part of the agenda package, but we have not received anything further.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's going to give you an opportunity in a second.
Just propose or? Go ahead. It's the applicant, okay, that's correct.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Heather Main. Good evening.
Oh, right, okay.
I wish at this time to present an update to our letter of June 7th, addressed to Mr. Strachan, Deniger, Condor, and Mayor Waterman and Council, addressing our concerns re the development variance permit application for the property located at 14211 Bristol Road. Over the weekend, Mr. and Mrs. Meadow, owners of the above-noted property, contacted my husband and I to see if they could answer and respond to the concerns mentioned in our letter. They offered to meet with us at their Bristow Road property to explain and describe their building intentions. We were requesting that a story pole relating to the curb and roof height be drawn up so that we could more clearly see how their dwelling height would impact upon our and our neighbors' views. Mr. Meadows is a builder and in collaboration with engineers has drawn up a very detailed architectural and topographical rendering. He explained how and why he designed his home as presented to the Development Services Department and also clearly indicated how this dwelling would be situated on his property. My husband and I greatly appreciated both Mr. and Mrs. Meadow for having the consideration to contact us in their effort to reassure us that they had been and would continue to be sensitive to our concerns highlighted in our letter. In consideration of the Meadows' reassurances that they do indeed build the dwelling presented to the Development Service Department on the location that they have outlined, we wish to remove our objection to their development variance permit. Respectfully yours, Heather and Jerry Main.
Thank you very much. At this time, would the proponent like to speak, please? No? Okay. Is there any member of the public like to speak to this other than the Mrs. Main? Okay. Moving forward, council, any questions of Mr. Planner? Councillor Pete.
Dean, could you just clarify again to me, it's a meter, is the roof a meter below the level of the road, or is it where you walk into the houses down? I wasn't quite clear with your comment.
So you'll notice on the profiles within the package, the elevation shows a sloping driveway of 12% out to the roadway. So the driveway is sloping down. So when you see the front elevation of the building, it would be a meter from the bottom of the garage door up, would be even, approximately even with the roadway is what's proposed.
Thank you very much. That makes it clearer to me. I did go out and look at the property, so I appreciate the discussion. I appreciate that the neighbors received further discussion from the owners. That's excellent. Thank you very much.
Anybody else like to question the planner? Hearing none. Someone like to bring the resolution forward, please? Councillor Barkle?
I'll bring the resolution forward as written in the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Peak. Is there any further discussion? Councillor Holmes.
I would just like to comment, I always say it's good to talk to your neighbors, and I think here's an example of that.
Yeah, that's actually very commendable. So we have a seconder? Yes. All in favor? Thank you. The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Mayor Waterman, you should just make a note that that was approved, just because I didn't
Okay.
read it, just that it was, that the
Oh,
development
okay.
variance permit was approved.
Yeah, okay. Just a note that it was approved. Okay, 11.2, Mr. Strachan.
Mayor, I believe there's a second resolution there. in Your
No,
package.
it's all covered as one resolution as far as I know.
The development permit.
Just two.
Do they have to do two?
We have to do the second one? Okay.
That was for the development variance permit.
Right.
Now
okay.
you'll look at the
That's
development
correct.
permit.
Okay. Okay, Councillor Peak.
I'll move the development permit for Lot 6, Plan KAP 78971 be approved.
Okay, thank you. Seconder? Councillor Trainer, thank you. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. And the motion is approved. Thank you. Okay, 11.2, Mr. Strachan.
Thank you, Mayor. As noted in our package, we have a development variance permit for 5011 Tallgood Place. The subject variance is related to the maximum height for accessory buildings. The property has been rezoned to allow for multifamily development. As a part of that multifamily development, they've proposed the construction of two accessory buildings at the front of the property, one which is going to be a single-story building. The second one they've proposed the variance for is to a two-story building. The picture on the screen is of the units themselves, the multifamily units, and they're proposing to build a garage structure with the storage above it that would be a similar height to the two-story units that are being constructed as multifamily. The variance is required in order to have a two-story accessory building, as well as to have the height be 7.9 meters versus the 4.5 meters indicated. The second part of the report is related to the development permit.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there, do we have any correspondence relative to this? Nothing? Okay. Would the proponent like to speak to this, if he's present? Okay, okay, thank you. Any member of the public like to speak to this? Hearing none. Okay, move ahead. Council, do you have any questions of the planner regarding this? Councillor Barkle.
The outline was kind of faint, but it's my understanding then that this building will be closest to the highway?
That's correct.
Yeah.
This particular building would be located on the far side of the access road, between the highway and the access road itself. So the back of that building would be towards Highway 97.
Is there a way of moving your mouse to the, just
You
to?
got your little pointer thing?
I think I've got,
Okay, that's what I thought, but, yeah.
it's over on this far side.
And that's an access road and the cul-de-sac for the entrance?
Yeah.
One sec here. Here we go. There I am, sorry, my
Yeah,
apologies.
okay, that's.
Yes, this is the building here that's proposed
Yeah,
to be 2 stories. Directly across the access road is another accessory building which is proposed to be 1 story in height. The units themselves are in 4-unit components facing inwards towards each other, which will also be 2 stories in height.
Okay, Councillor Trainer.
This accessory building, I assume it would be extra storage for the people that live there?
That's correct.
Okay. Is it typical that you would have a structure like this in a development like this?
It's very typical with apartment buildings. It's not uncommon to have some form of an accessory building. Depends on what the unit space has for storage within them. So this may be a component of people having lots of stuff.
Thanks.
Okay, Councillor Peak.
Councillor's trainer prompted a second one for me. Are these homes on slab, or do they have basements? Or do you know about the design at this stage in the game?
We don't have details about the specific space, as whether it's going to be a foundation or a slab on grade, as you're noting, but there is not a proposal for basement floors.
Thank you very kindly.
Anybody else, any questions? Councillor
I
Booth.
just have a
Yep.
question. On the drawing, it shows amenity space. Is that green space? Yes?
It's open space for the occupants of the development that would have landscaping around the perimeter of it, as well as fencing.
Well, I've made my bigger.
Okay. Anything further? Okay, would someone like to bring the first resolution forward, please? Councillor Barkle? As presented, I assume?
yeah, I move the application, the permit application as written in the agenda.
Okay, seconder, please. Councillor Trainer, thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Barkle?
I would note that just 3 weeks ago, we turned down a variance application for a large garage with a second story, but I see quite a difference in this application.
Yep. Councillor Holmes?
Yeah, for one, it wasn't on the highway, but
Yes.
I'm glad to see this moving ahead. I know it's been in the works for quite a while now, and it's exactly the sort of housing this community needs, so I'm really happy to see this moving forward.
It's in one of the previous councils I was on that we got this initiated, so it's nice to see it coming through. Okay, do we have a seconder? We did, Councillor Trainer? Okay, all in favor?
May I ask just one other
Go ahead,
question? Mr. Planner, the right-of-way that's there, is that where the little path is that runs along the, I'm not very good with my directions, north side of the creek?
No, you're talking about the trail, the path that's on the actual creek bank?
Not the one on the south side, but the one on the north side.
Yes, the one on the north side is outside of this property, along the embankment, and wouldn't be impacted by the proposed.
So that shows in the little right-of-way that's drawn
That's
there?
correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
May I just get clarification? Did the mover move both the development variance permit and the development permit, or just the first one?
Just the first one.
Just the first one.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor? The motion's approved. Thank you. Number 2, for the development permit. Mr. Strachan?
Just for clarification on the development permit, so this development permit has 3 components to it. One is for the RAR, as it's adjacent to the creek. The RAR was prepared previously and is included as part of this. Works have been undertaken on the site to remove a number of the trees and so forth. All of that was conducted under the provisions and requirements of the RAR, as well as under the supervision of Valley Environmental, who provided just this afternoon a report on the tree removal as far as what trees were removed, and a couple of trees are going to remain in place due to nesting. However, all of those components took place under the supervision of the environmental planner for that piece. The second part is related to form and character. As this is a multifamily development, it falls under the multifamily development permit area. That particular component is related to the form, the coloration, the palettes, and the character of the development. The provisions within the OCP that cover that development area do not include specific detailed design criteria that you may see in, say, a city center plan or other components like that. So it's more related to looking at the form and character and how it fits with the community. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, someone like to bring that forward? Number 2, Councillor Peak, thank you.
If I may,
Sure, go ahead.
bringing the development permit for Lot A Plan 14551 to construct a multifamily residential development and that it be approved.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Barco, thank you. Any further discussion at all? Councillor Boot?
I just have one question. Normally, development permits don't come forward to us. I understand the variance part of it, but for this development, I'm not sure why it's coming forward.
It's coming forward as a multifamily development form and character development permit.
Okay.
So it comes forward to council as a
Okay, so it's different than, say, a
All
typical
development permits have not been delegated to staff, so they do come to council.
Okay.
Except for, one of our development permits are delegated to staff.
Yes, environmental DPs.
Pardon me?
Some of the environmental DPs.
No, yeah.
For
No,
riparian.
no.
Not the high hazard ones either.
Okay, may I have a
No,
seconder,
just-
please?
Already.
Oh, seconder, okay. All in favor? The resolution's approved, thank you. Moving on to 11.3, Mr. Strachan.
Thank you, Mayor. Next development variance permit we have is a development variance permit for 16019 Lakeshore Drive. The development variance permit is in order to allow for an accessory building to be constructed on the subject property. The configuration and lot adjacency to Okanagan Lake somewhat restricts the location of an accessory building. The bylaw regulations envision an accessory building being behind a single-family dwelling. In this particular circumstance, that would mean that it would be in the lake. So it's a bit problematic for the site. So it requires them to apply for a variance for siting of the accessory building within the front yard area, as well as they've asked for a variance to reduce the setback from 6.0 meters to 3.5 meters. Those are the two variance components of the report before you. The second component is a development permit because this lot is within the high hazard geotechnical area, requiring the building to be constructed under the supervision of a structural engineer. So you have two engineers in your package there. One engineer looks at the geotechnical components, figures out what kind of pressures would be put on a building if it was constructed in that area. And the second one being a structural engineer that says this is the building design that's required in order to absorb those forces. So those are the two components of the development permit, the initial component being the variance for the accessory building. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, any correspondence for this particular one? No? Okay, would the proponent like to speak to this at all? Please.
Mayor and Council, thank you. My name is Kevin Edgecombe. I reside at 2275 Kalo Road in Kelowna. I am the builder applicant for the client, who is Denise and Clark Sazwan. Sazwans have owned this property for a number of years. It's been in the family for many years. The intent, we started a fairly major renovation some time ago on the property. on the existing building, and we have done a considerable amount of construction at this point. They are enjoying the property so much they've decided to make it their permanent residence, and thus they will require the necessities of space and required a garage. Started with that premise, but we certainly recognize the issues associated with the previous landslide that occurred on that property. And so we engaged Tetra Tech, Hermine Martinez from Tetra Tech, to do a very thorough analysis geotechnically of the site. I think you'll see in that package it was incredibly detailed and very well thought out, I believe. We've also engaged ROV Consulting, a structural engineer from Kelowna, to design the building based on the forces that Hermine Martinez has prescribed could occur should a landslide happen across the road. There has been considerable work done over the years to improve the safety along that stretch of roadway. However, there is significant importance to making sure that if it were to happen again, that it was designed properly. The positioning of the building is such that we're pressured by RAR on one side and the red zone on the other side. So the reduction of front yard setback is in order to provide enough space physically between the house and the garage to properly navigate in and out of the garage. The quality of finish this is a picture that is the renovation that's currently taking place. So it's a number of timber frame accents and full bed stone masonry, very high-end finish. I think it'll be considered a very pleasing look. There is a fence along the frontage of Lakeshore currently that is in a little bit of disrepair, and the client is very much wanting to improve the look and character of the property. So we have designed a two-tiered Allen block retaining wall that will be 3 feet high times 2 with a setback that will provide benefit should a landslide occur. Where the building is positioned itself, it will be there in order to resist that force and stop it effectively rather than the current berm that is in place. The berm is approximately, in some cases, 30 feet wide, and it renders the property almost useless. It's so wide. We understand the berm was never mandated by anyone. It simply was soil that was left on place after the landslide that occurred a number of years ago. And I think the previous owner decided that he got tired of hauling it away, so just decided to create a berm. That was the in-laws of the current owner, Clark Saswan. That rendering is very stark and sterile, and my apologies for that. The finish will have a very similar look to the house, where there will be timber accents and that full bed stone on all sides of the building, and it will be a completely concrete structure, including the roof structure, to withstand any forces from a potential landslide. So it's a big investment, but it's something that this owner feels very strongly about for the safety of the house. And obviously his ability to have a garage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So would any member of the public like to speak to this? Okay, Council, you got any questions of our planner then, please? None? Okay, would someone like to bring the first resolution forward, please? Councillor Barkle?
I move that the development variance permit application be approved as written.
Thank you. A seconder, please. Councillor Traynor, thank you very much. Any further discussion? No? Okay, all in favor? Okay, the motion, or the resolution is approved. Thank you. Number 2, the development permit application. Strachan, anything?
As noted in the initial presentation, this is within the high hazard area, requiring a development permit. There is also a covenant on title requiring that supervision by the geotechnical engineer, which has taken place and would be included as part of what's registered on title with the development permit. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Someone like to bring that forward, please? Councillor Barkle.
I'll move that the development permit application be approved as written.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Holmes, thank you very much. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'm impressed with the completeness of looking after the structure is pretty impressive. So, would someone like to bring that forward? Did we have a
Yeah.
mover and second? All in favor? Okay, the resolution's approved. Thank you. 11.4, Mr. Strachan.
Thank you, Mayor. As noted, you have a update report from us in regards to 13610 Banks Crescent. The update outlines a number of components that were identified earlier this year for progress on the subject application and works that the applicant is undertaking in order to provide information, background components, as well as attempting to address some of the issues that were brought forward initially. What you'll note within the package of significance is the reporting that's been received from the applicant in regards to the alternate water source for BC freshwater fisheries. This is their proposal in regards to that component of it. Not necessarily, it's a beginning component to that process. That's been forwarded to the freshwater fisheries. We contacted them on last Thursday, and had a discussion on the process moving forward. And we're going to be meeting, district staff will be meeting with freshwater fisheries this week to discuss the report. The technical components of the report are related to their findings on the water quality and temperature, particularly, as far as how that matches the data that the freshwater fisheries provided to the professionals working on this file. So freshwater fisheries forwarded their previous assessments as well as their recent assessments of the aquifer and how its chemical composition is laid out, as well as how its temperature regime runs. And then they reviewed that in relation to alternate water sources, including the well component, potable water, so district water, as well as a deep water lake intake. The deep water lake intake, they indicated, or the professionals have indicated, has the closest match for the composition of the water as well as the temperature to what's received from the aquifer. And that's their recommendation. But those discussions have to take place with freshwater fisheries, as well as the district staff are going to need to review a number of components of this before it would be brought forward to council for consideration. At this point, it's just information.
Thank you.
Other components are the engineering pieces, which have been forwarded back to the applicant. Our city engineer prepared summary responses to their initial input, and those have are now being reviewed by the engineering consultants and are being prepared to be responded to. We understand that information, or those drawings, will be coming back this week as well. The applicant has indicated those drawings will be coming back. One of the key components, we saw a lot of public questions and concerns around the engineering components. So the traffic study is being finalized so that the detailed drawings could be prepared. There is no drawings at this point. It's just looking at the traffic volumes and how that interacts with our streets at this point in time and what is needed for the future. And from that would come out the preliminary engineering drawings. Another part of the report was identifying that the electrical component is continuing to be reviewed. Drawings have been prepared related to the construction component, but finalizing these pieces are yet to happen. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Barkle.
If the deep water option was pursued, somebody would have to have a water license from the provincial government, wouldn't they?
That's correct. The water license would be required.
And did I read in previous material that there's quite a delay in obtaining the water license?
Well, the proposal at this time is looking at that issue as far as what water license could be available.
Mhm.
They have identified that the district does have 2 Okanagan Lake water licenses, but that has not been reviewed in any detail as far as whether that would be of use for the district to entertain. But that is currently what they've put on the table, is to look at those licenses that are available at this time.
Okay.
Anybody else? Question? Councillor Holmes.
I have some questions regarding the updated environmental assessment, if this is the time to ask them.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I have some concern about, the timing of that, the tests were done in March, considering it was a late, cold spring. And, we've had assessments before where it was just kind of a snapshot at one time a year, and it didn't really get a full picture of what the environmental is like year-round there. And, for one example, pulling out here, they talk about wildlife. There's absolutely no mention whatsoever of bears. And it's well known that that's a bear habitat there. If some of you may remember when we had our site visit there, that pig that was wandering around the farm, well, that pig was, shortly after our visit, was attacked by a bear. And that bear's, what do you, that bear was eventually put down. But then bears are territorial animals, so another bear has since come in. And so what are they going to do about the bears? They're just going to keep shooting them until they don't come anymore? So I think it hasn't even been addressed in this report at all. So I don't know, would we consider submitting this to the Summerland Science Group that's based here to look at? I just have lots of concerns about the snapshot approach that's taken to these assessments.
Councillor Barkwell.
I don't think that the district has a policy of submitting things to that group, but I would expect that the group is fully free to review and comment on environmental reports, the same as other people and groups have commented on, all aspects of the project. And I'm not really sure where you're going with the bear question, because development or no development, a bear in the area is a problem.
Depends who you ask.
Anyway, that's my 2 bits.
Thank you. Mr. Strachan, did our own environmental planner has reviewed this?
Yes, at the back of the report, we this report, when we received it, was forwarded to our environmental planner to conduct a review of it. She had been working with the biologist back and forth. When this first came in earlier this year, it was identified that this did not meet the terms of reference of the official community plan for these types of environmental reports. So since that time, it's been going back and forth between our environmental planner and the reporting RP Bio in regards to how this report should be completed to meet the OCP requirements. And she's indicated that it substantively meets those requirements of the terms of reference. And she notes within her letter to council components of inventory and so forth and specific details that she envisioned would be collected as part of the development permit stage when you're looking at the detailed design drawings, as well as landscaping and how mitigation would be applied to the specific property. So this reporting is related to the rezoning. It is not giving permission to allow for any construction to take place on the site. There would be the requirement for a DP to be completed that would cover those more detailed components. And that was her recommendation to staff, is to go forward with a recommendation to council in that area to receive this report and look to the DP that's going to be coming, if this goes forward, for the detailed one, the detailed landscape plans in particular, that would talk to remediation for trees and so forth, would be provided to council for their information and review.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of the planner?
I have
Councillor
a
Booth.
question
Go
also
ahead.
related to the environmental assessment. So I understand what you're saying in terms of Allison, our shared environmental planner, or whatever she's called, I'm not really sure. Apologies to Allison. But my understanding is that she bases her conclusions on where the potential footprint of the building is. It doesn't, and if it's outside of the environmental sensitive areas, I understand that. However, getting back to what Councillor Holmes was asking, is there any consideration for the space that's there and the habitants that already live there? I'm wondering, further to that, when you just suggested that when it comes to the development permit and the landscape and the mitigation, can you tell me what you mean by landscaping and how it may mitigate the site? I just need some clarification on that.
So there's a few components to what would take place at that more detailed component prior to construction. For example, similar to what we saw in the variance for Taugood, there's a late inventory that should be done as far as nesting and other components to ensure that there's not direct impact at construction. And that should take place as close as possible to when those works are going to take place on the site. So if it's approved to move forward to that component, you want that inventory work to be completed in close proximity to the time of beginning to identify those types of pieces. My understanding from speaking to Allison is the inventory component and the components of what's there, that snapshot is appropriate to collect a development permit where you would be closer to an actual construction and modification of the site taking place. In regards to the landscaping, there's components of natural landscaping that would form part of the development. So there's the cultured landscaping that you see in the renderings that cover over the top of the buildings, and they've actually got rooftop landscaping. So beneath it is building as well as parkade and other components.
Right.
That's going to be cultured landscaping, but on the perimeter it's going to be a natural landscaping, and that would be prescribed out in the development permit as far as about what the RP bio. So you'd have a landscape architect that's going to be looking at the culture component, but the RP bio is going to outline, RP, registered professional biologist, would outline the actual species composition and where that should be located on the periphery as part of the landscape plan, as part of that DP.
Okay, and thank you for that clarification. And I have one other question related to what you've just said. So the inventory that's taken, is that inventory over a period of time, or is it like what happens to be there when they're there?
I can't really answer that. I'd have to refer that back to our environmental planner. I believe my discussions with her, there's a number of components to it. There certainly can be a snapshot field review, but I think they also rely on other sources for information. So
Okay.
I'd have to get back to you on that specific question.
I'd like to hear that, because clearly what you might encounter there in January would be different from what you would see just 2 or 3 months later. So, yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. So could I have a resolution to receive, please?
Actually, could I ask one other
Go ahead.
question?
Yep, by all means.
This has to do with the fish hatchery. At least from my understanding of what we've received in our agenda package, the option seems to be veering towards a deep lake intake. Thank you. I was thinking pipe, but intake. I'm not sure. I understand that it's gone to the fish hatchery. Has the fish hatchery also had access to the testing that was done as far as what's in the water and the temperature of the water? And, just a sec, and is the consideration of an intake from the lake, provided, everything works out, is that something that they would entertain?
two very good questions, and those are exactly the questions that we're asking the hatchery at this point in time.
Okay.
Is that this is that initial discussion. Here's what the applicant has provided as far as background information and analysis, and they've recommended the Deepwater Okanagan Lake intake as the best option based on their study. Now the fisheries is going to go and review the information provided,
Okay.
likely get information from their own professionals
Great.
on what's been provided in the data, and then we begin the discussion as far as what that means. This would likely not be the end of the analysis data if that particular avenue was selected. There would likely be a regime of collection that would be required by freshwater fisheries in order to expand that spectrum of knowledge on what the deep water source would mean as far as annual, sort of what that information is needed. But those discussions are yet to take place. So they've just received this, and now they're going to engage their own professionals, and we're going to have a discussion later this week, district staff with freshwater fisheries, as far as their initial thoughts on it, and if there's a necessity for additional initial information. But we haven't had that discussion yet.
Right. Thank you. And could I ask one
Yeah, go
other
ahead.
question? And I don't know who would be able to answer this.
We'll see.
So the possibility of access to one of the district's owned water licenses, who would make that determination?
Sorry, to ask you a question again, if,
Sorry, one of the suggestions that was in our agenda is that if this intake option is suitable for the freshwater fisheries, that they would look to the district to use one of our water licenses. Who makes that determination on whether or not the
Absolutely,
approvals go
council.
forward? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we have 2 licenses in
Yes,
the range of
that-
2,500 to 5,000 acre feet,
Yes.
I believe. Councillor Trainer?
I just had a question for Councillor Holmes. You had mentioned that other Summerlanders might want to review the environmental report. Who are you referring to again, specifically?
I believe they made a presentation to us some months ago. They're the Summerland, they call themselves the Summerland Science Group. They're a group of scientists who live in Summerland. And yeah, and they just kind of offer their services to review anything that we might want them to review.
So-
They presented to us at a council committee of the whole meeting, I don't know, 3 months ago,
Yeah,
4
okay.
months ago?
Sometime
Yeah.
ago.
Okay. Would a group like that, are they allowed to review something like this anytime, or does it have to be formal?
they absolutely can review it at any time. It's been publicized, it's public. Our shared environmental planners made the comments. I do believe she's part of that group. And they certainly can make comment on it.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, would someone like to bring the motion forward, the resolution forward, be received, please? Councillor Booth, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Barkwell. All in favor? The and report's received, thank you. Moving on to 12.1. Okay, petitions regarding the Banks Crescent. Mr. Bent-Deniger, I guess? Oh, you have something.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is just an ongoing submission that was submitted to us at the last meeting. It includes 10 additional pages regarding the rezoning of Banks Crescent. And I believe, I can't remember exactly how many signatures, my apologies, but it's just for council to receive. Thank you.
Thank you. Some resolution brought forward, please. Councillor Barkle.
I move that the report to council from the Manager of Legislative Services dated May 30th, 2017, summarizing written and online petitions, revised to include information provided to May 23rd, 2017, be received for information.
Thank you. And we have 2 resolutions there? Or-
No.
Oh, it's all one, yeah. Okay, seconder, Councillor Peak, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. 12.2.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll have Tammy Rothery just do a brief outline of the CAREP application for this year.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor and Council. As you can see from your package, the 2016 Climate Action Revenue Incentive Program, or CAREP, report is complete and has been submitted to the province. As a reminder, CAREP provides a 100% rebate of all of the carbon taxes paid for fuel by the District of Summerland each year, as self-reported to the province. To qualify for that rebate, we are required to complete the CAREP survey and self-report on all fuel expenditures in our buildings, fleet, and equipment. We then take this information and use it to measure our corporate greenhouse gas emissions footprint. Under the BC Climate Action Charter, we have committed to becoming carbon neutral in our operations by reducing, balancing, or offsetting that footprint. For 2016, our offsettable footprint was 978 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent emissions, and we will be getting a refund of just over $29,000. This rebate will be used to invest in projects that reduce our emissions footprint and move us closer towards our goal of becoming carbon neutral. The CAREP report is now posted publicly on our website, and we hope that Council and our residents will take a look and provide any feedback that they might have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions of our environmental planner? Sustainability. We'll get it right. Any questions? Councillor Peak.
I'm pleased that our assessment and looking into it with the software has produced a more accurate rendering of what the amounts are, so it's nice to see that come forward, and that the Climate Action Committee will have an opportunity perhaps to recommend the use of some of those funds.
Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, if we're into comments, then yeah, I'd just like to say thanks for the report. I thought it was excellent, and it was quite enlightening. I found it is a great example of showing that if you cut staff to the bare bones, you end up diminishing your capacity and can end up costing you more. So I really appreciate the work that's done into this.
Yeah, after having been involved in the CAREP process since inception, this is the most comprehensive report that I've seen, so I appreciate it very much. And of course, it does take a fair amount of time and input to get there, so thank you. Any questions?
I'll bring it forward.
Thank you.
To report the results of that the 2016 CAREP Climate Action Neutral Progress Survey be received for information.
Seconder, please. Councillor Traynor, thank you. All in favor?
May I just ask Tammy a question?
Go ahead.
Don't memorize it.
That's all right. I should be getting used to it.
Tammy, I see on there that our goal is 33% below 2007 levels by the year 2020. What do you think? Are we going to do that? Are we going to make it?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, for that question. As indicated in the report, we have a bit of work to do in terms of backfilling some of the information. There were some items that were left out of reporting, partially due to problems in the software that we identified for the province. And so we are going to be doing that work to more accurately assess where we're at in terms of meeting that goal, and I'll be happy to report back on that in the future.
Thank you.
So, just a little note there. So your examination of the software indicated that the province wasn't quite, the software wasn't working appropriately from their end?
Those were the comments that were made to them, yes.
Cool, good. I'm impressed. Okay, was there a seconder? Did we have a seconder? Yeah, okay, all in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. 12.3, again, Tammy.
No, this one will be Director of Finance.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were on 12.4. Oh, sorry, we are. Sorry, you're absolutely right.
It's all right, you can try, David.
I jumped.
Get the same stuff from him.
My apologies, I jumped forward.
Okay, Tammy, go ahead.
Thanks again, Mr. Mayor and Council. Currently, an opportunity exists for the district to apply to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Climate Action and Asset Management Network. And since we are currently in the early stages of developing the District of Summerland's asset management plan, the timing is very good for us to apply to this network. We also understand that the consultants that we have already been working with in the development of this plan are actually directly involved with the network and have a very good understanding of the topics and methodologies that the network will be using. They also are quite familiar with how to add value to our asset management plan by integrating climate change considerations. The application to join the network closes on June 15th, and a council resolution in support of that application is required. Thank you.
Thank you. It's encouraging. Any questions, Council? Councillor Peak?
If I may, and I'm going to address this to the CAO, is this the capacity application or is this the separate one? The money's about the same, so I'm having a little trouble knowing whether this is a capacity application that we put forward.
This is a separate program altogether,
Thank you,
still
'cause
FCM.
I couldn't see the wording, and I
Yeah.
thought, I think I'm mixing it up in my head.
Yeah, you're speaking about the capacity building of the gas tax, and this is the FCM program.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification.
Okay, Councillor Holmes?
Does it cost anything to join the network? Or is it just that comes with our FCM membership, or how does that work?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, for that question. There is a requirement for the district to contribute 20% of the costs of what they call the Phase 1 project. However, we are able to contribute that amount through staff time, and also we're able to stack an existing grant that we're using for the asset management plan, so there would be no additional costs projected for the district for this network.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Peak?
I'm very pleased that we have the opportunity, in part because we now have a staff person doing this kind of work, but that we're able to use what we're already doing and in kind to make that contribution. Because I think that the work towards this is important, and the fact that we don't have to put out additional funds is a help. So thank you very much for your work on this.
Okay, someone like to bring this forward? Any other questions? Someone like to bring it forward, please? Councillor Peak?
That an application to the FCM's Climate and Asset Management Network be supported, and further that staff be directed to prepare an application to meet the June 15, 2017 deadline.
Okay. Councillor Holmes, are you seconding? Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. Opposed. 12.4. David. Chief Financial Officer.
Thank you,
Easier
Mr.
than
Mayor.
your last name.
The Financial Information Act requires municipalities to prepare a statement of financial information by June 30th of each year, and which must be considered annually by council. The SOFI contains information not found directly in the district's audited financial statements, such information as the schedule of goods and services, schedule of severance agreements, as well as schedule of remuneration and expenses for both council and employees. Upon council's approval, a copy of the 2016 SOFI report will be posted on the district's website. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? None? Someone like to bring that resolution forward, please? Councillor Traynor.
That council approve the District of Summerland 2016 Statement of Financial Information for filing with the Ministry of Community, Sport and Cultural Development. And the second part as well. And that the Mayor and Director of Finance be authorized to execute all documents related to this matter.
Thank you. Seconder. Councillor Barkle, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Motion carries. And opposed, thank you very much. 12.5.
That would be me as well.
Yep.
So currently, municipal councils receive a third of their annual stipend tax-free. They are the only municipal office holders that receive this exemption. The 2017 federal budget included language that will eliminate this tax-free portion of income, and that will be in 2019. During the district's 2017 budget discussions, council deferred making any changes to their current remuneration until 2018. There was discussion on how to proceed with this type of review, as as well as timing. However, no formal resolution was ever brought forward. This report provides 4 possible options council may wish to consider in addressing this subject, and it's open to council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
It's mainly for information unless council at this point in time, just because the subject is council remuneration, we put those options in there, but you could determine at a later date that you wanted to do a review. It's mainly to receive the information of the change in the budget.
Okay, so we need a resolution to receive, please. Councillor Boot, thank you. Councillor Barkle, all in favor?
Are we having any discussion, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, okay, we can have some discussion. Sorry.
Yeah, if I
First
may.
time I missed the discussion part. Go ahead.
Thank you. I find it a shame that this option is being taken away from municipal councillors. We are the least compensated members of the community who serve the community. And we probably maybe get paid 70 cents an hour if we're really lucky.
That's too much.
It's kind of a shame that this is coming off. I think that council should consider an opportunity to look at the remuneration as a result of this, not necessarily because we might normally review our remuneration at this stage, but I wouldn't mind having further discussion on this.
Yeah, point taken. Thank you. Councillor Barkle.
Well, this won't take effect until 2019.
I know that.
There's always a chance that it won't happen at all. I imagine there might be some lobbying by UBCM and FCM concerning it, and we might have a better idea next year. I think our original plan was to have a report drawn up in 2018, and I don't necessarily see why we'd want to change that plan.
I don't think we did, if I may be reminded. I don't think we asked for a report.
Well, not formally, but I think it's alleged, or kind of implied here in the report, and it is one of the options. No, it doesn't say 2018, but
Right.
anyhow, 2018 would be plenty of time to have that review and have a report, and then leave it for the next council to act on, and taking into consideration how imminent the change might be at that time. That's my thoughts.
Councillor Holmes.
I know other communities, they appoint a committee from the community to review, and I would certainly favor approach for that being done sometime between now and the next election, so that the next incoming council has something to work with, to look at.
Okay, so council, you have a few of the options there. If you want to choose one of them, you can.
I think, is there a motion on the table right
There
now?
may be a motion, that's what I was trying to check.
Motion is to receive the report.
Steve is on there, okay. Okay, well, we can receive it and then have another resolution, can't we?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So let's move ahead with receiving the report, and then if you want to entertain another motion, one of the options, you can do so. So all in favor of receiving? Motion carries, thank you. Now, would someone like to entertain any further, one of the options to present, as was just outlined by one of you? Anyway, Councillor Peak.
Yeah, I'll bring a motion forward to strike a committee to review current council remuneration and report that back from that committee to council.
Thank you. We have a seconder? Councillor Traynor, thank you. Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, I'd just like to clarify that the committee would be made of community members and not like staff or councillors.
Or us. Conflict of interest, maybe?
I'll take that as a minor amendment to the motion.
Okay, thank you.
Can I? A friendly amendment?
Okay.
Just for clarification, generally on these committees, it's my experience that the committee does need staff support. There's a lot of background and a lot of research that needs to be done, but just not a decision-making member.
Okay. Councillor Barkle.
Does Councillor Peak have any sort of date in mind when this task should be completed?
Well, sometimes I think the year before an election year is not a bad time to be doing it.
So by
This year.
this time next year, or?
If we did it, that we receive the report by, say, April of next year.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, do we have a seconder?
I did.
Oh, that's right. Okay, all in favor? Motion carries, thank you.
When
Question?
it says council, current council, that includes the mayor, right?
I would
Yes,
hope so.
yes,
Yes.
council is entirety.
Okay.
Yeah, 70 cents is a pretty bold number. I think it's less than that.
I know.
Okay, moving on to, where are we? 13.1, new business. CFO.
So this report speaks to what Councillor Peak was, the grant application Councillor Peak was referring to a little earlier. Applications under the Federal Gas Tax Fund Strategic Priorities Program, they were due on June 1st of 2017. Now, a requirement of the application process was that each application was accompanied by a resolution of council supporting the application. On May 31st, staff circulated an email to council in order to gauge whether or not council would support an application to further the district's asset management work around our water and road infrastructure. All members of council responded supportively. So staff, taking that unanimous consent, put forward a grant application. However, we still do require a formal resolution of council, hence the resolution in front of you today.
Thank you. Council, would you like to bring that forward, please? Councillor Barkwell?
Move that the application for the Federal Gas Tax Fund Strategic Priorities Fund capacity building, $110,000 to fund the water and road infrastructure integrated asset management plan, small title, be supported and further, that was an ad-lib, and further that staff be directed to prepare a grant application to meet the deadline.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Holmes, all in favor? Pardon me?
Discussion.
I was going to make a comment.
Oh, you were, okay. I thought it was pretty straightforward, but anyway, go ahead.
It's straightforward, Mr. Mayor, but I want to compliment staff on the opportunity. A capacity building opportunity like this does not come along very often, and to look to be able to integrate the outcome of the asset management plan and project over a 10 or 20-year time frame would be very, very valuable for this community and any future councils. So I was extremely pleased to see the points that were entered into in terms of what the application would be for. I know we don't know if we'll get it, but I just think it's a great opportunity for our community.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? I can't remember what, everything gets disjointed. Motion carries. Okay, we're moving down to 14.1. Mr. Strachan. Or CA.
Council would make a decision. You heard the public hearing. We've included the recommendation, the motions, if you were to want to discuss it further today.
Okay, Councillor Barkwell.
I just one question for the planner. This is like phase 2 of a multi-phase project. How come the zoning change wasn't done at the time, the first phase? Why?
So the first phase was done following a neighborhood planning process. So the OCP level, or the highest level of planning, was conducted. But rezoning is done as the phases move along, so the council retains that authority to control what takes place, as well as control how the infrastructure is to be done. So if council were to rezone the entire property, staff would recommend that all the infrastructure pieces for reservoirs and pipes and sewer lines and all those other components, as well as all the environmental planning, all take place before that happens. So they would be doing so many years in advance that it wouldn't be necessarily the best place to make those decisions for council. So the neighborhood plan sort of outlines the OCP, or higher level type of plan for the neighborhood, to give some context, to ensure that there's a context to it. But the tool of rezoning is retained by council until such time as they're ready to move on development for that particular piece.
It makes sense, considering that this particular project is years and years in the making. It gives us that flexibility, doesn't it? And they don't have to go do so much work. Okay, I understand.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, would someone like to bring the resolution forward? Councillor Holmes?
I'll move that zoning bylaw amendment 14600 Cartwright Avenue bylaw number 2017-005 be read a third time, and that zoning bylaw amendment 14600 Cartwright Avenue bylaw number 2017-005 be adopted.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Boot, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, I think just to note, you know, it has been some time, but I think it's interesting to note that this, I remember when this came forward originally, and because of the recession, et cetera, the timeframes for bringing on stream was really market related more than anything else. So there were, I think, about 4 phases stepping up through the landscape there. So, you know, it's these things move forward more quickly or not based on, in many cases, on the marketing situation for a particular development. So I think that's, you know, why we're looking at it, and it's a fairly comprehensive development and a reasonable size. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to 14.2.
This is just for consideration of adoption.
Okay. Someone like to bring that forward? Councillor Holmes?
That road closure and removal of highway dedication 4800 Woods Avenue bylaw number 2017-014 be adopted.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Peak, thank you. Councillor Traynor?
I just have a quick question. To the planner, what happens to that little piece of land now? Oh, maybe I ask Jeremy instead?
Sorry. Can you repeat the question, please?
Sorry, what happens to that that laneway now that we've taken away the road dedication?
It will be consolidated with the neighboring property as a condition of it.
The entire length of it?
Well, the rest of the remaining lane remains a lane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. We had a
You wanna buy
second. Pardon me? You want to buy it? Yeah. Okay, we had a seconder, didn't we?
Mhm.
Yeah, all in
Yeah.
favor? Thank you. Motion carried. Okay, moving on to 14.3. That will be, who's dealing with that?
Jeremy,
Jeremy?
Mr. Deniger can deal with
Yeah.
that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is following from a previous resolution that was adopted by Council May 8th for the local sanitary sewer service area for Mountain View growers. It was, I believe, 5 properties that were petitioned to join the sewer service area. And simply up for introduction and readings.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Peak.
I'll bring forward the local sanitary sewer service area for Mountain View growers, bylaw 2017-016 be introduced and read. Can I do all 3, first, second, and third reading?
Okay, thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Barkle. Okay, any further discussion at all? Hearing none. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving on to council reports. Councillor Peak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have attended the stakeholders meeting for the agricultural innovation discussions, and that was very valuable. Met a good number of people I wouldn't have had an occasion to meet before, and there was good detailed discussion. It was well put together, and I think people received it well. I know that Councillor Carlson spoke about the industry meeting that had occurred before, and she too appreciated that. I also went to the special AGM for the KVR, and as the mayor mentioned, I was acting mayor for opening of the Action Fest, and had the opportunity to ride in the parade, which myself and my granddaughter enjoyed. So I know you were off doing important work as well. I was pleased to be able to do this on your behalf. I also dropped into the tourism a true Penticton exposition at the lakeside, and I found that interesting. And of course, as did several other members, I attended the 25th anniversary for the Community Foundation, Reinvestment Foundation, and that was such a valuable organization in our community. They did an excellent job, and we had a chance to sort of put our 2 bits worth in, and the Sowens received the $5,000 funding from that evening, and they were putting it towards their outreach program for food and soup in their kitchen. So that was great. I also attended the lobster fundraiser on Saturday evening at the Anglican Church, and that was such a fun evening, and the lobster was delicious. Any of you that didn't attend, you should next year. It was wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Holmes.
Thank you. Councillor Peak forgot one.
Oh, that's easy.
So Councillor Peak, Councillor Boot, and myself on Friday, we attended a group representing the Penticton Indian Band provincial government and local stakeholders who are active in the Garnet Valley area. It was kind of a start of improved relations between all the groups to provide a forum to collaborate, to inform so everybody can be working together on land and resource uses decisions in the Garnet Valley. And I should just note that's kind of the Garnet Valley portion beyond the municipal boundaries after the reservoir. So that was very fruitful, and they'll be continuing. I also attended the Community Foundation's 25th anniversary reception on Thursday last week, and it was a really great celebration of really what makes all our communities in the South Okanagan great, and it was a real positive demonstration of the positive role the foundation's played. Last weekend I wasn't here for Action Fest. I was in Edmonton presenting to the Canadian Council of Refugees. I think my presentation was very well received. There was lots of talks at the conference about how well small communities have done at integrating not just refugees but newcomers in general. I was quite surprised to learn that 40% of the Syrians who arrived here last year came from rural farming communities in Syria. But most of those have been resettled into large cities. So there's a real disconnect there, and hopefully that will be corrected moving into the future, especially the need of young farmers that the whole country needs. Meanwhile, it seems the government is ramping up the refugee sponsorship program again, so that's good news for us. The Summerland group we're prepared to welcome another family once we can address the housing situation. That's the only real thing stopping us. I just wanted to mention this Thursday at Okanagan College in Penticton, the South Okanagan Similkameen Local Immigration Partnership, of which I'm the co-chair, will be hosting the Connect 2017 event. That's a forum for immigrant job seekers and regional employers to network and learn each other. It'll include workshops on diversity in the workplace, a job fair, and panel discussions. And also one other thing in Penticton that's of a regional note and a local interest is the First Things First Okanagan AGM is happening. That's on Wednesday? What time is left? I think it's on Wednesday night, yeah. So that's it. Thanks.
Good, thank you. Commend you on your presentation in Edmonton. That's great. Councillor Boot.
Thank you. Other than the things that have been already mentioned, on the weekend I attended an open house regarding a potential housing development on North Victoria Road. Last week we had the first meeting of the Southern Interior Local Government Association Board in starting to plan our next convention. RDOS, and again on the 1st, and again this Thursday. I also will be attending the Chamber of Commerce meeting. Where's Christine? I will be there on Wednesday, and I will have a report. I've had some really good discussions with Jane Campardo, the consultant that was hired to look at this ag facility. And there's some very exciting things that are happening there. As you, Mr. Mayor, are always talking about the synergies and when building the momentum, it's very definitely cool. There. It's really, really exciting. Next week, I will be attending the let's see if I can get this right. Southern Interior Beetle Action Coalition, who has moved away from beetle work because the beetles have moved on to our neighbors. I'm particularly interested in two of the presenters and the workshops around that those presentations. One is about economic development through arts and culture, and this convention is geared towards rural communities. So that would be really good. And the second one. Again, the synergies, economic development around agriculture and value-added products. So I'm really hoping to get a lot of information out there.
Yeah, it's interesting how the Beetle Coalition has moved on, because they kind of wondered what their mandate would be once that was completed. And they have moved towards, small community development projects. So it's actually, they're keeping their organization intact and making it move forward, which is great. Councillor Barkle.
Other than some of the other events, I supported Councillor Traynor in her opening for the Bluegrass Festival. I've always seen so many cars going by out that way and wanted to see what was going on out there. And at the most recent meeting of the Summerland Museum Society, the curator, Amy McCroy, is resigning to pursue her PhD in Ireland. She'll be very sadly missed. She has made an amazing contribution to the museum. If you haven't been there lately, it's quite a changed operation, and she's left behind plans for further phases of improvement. And we were very lucky to have her, and she's left some big boots to fill.
Great, thank you. Councillor Traynor.
Thank you. Last Tuesday, I met with Premier Christy Clark and MLA Dan Ashton to observe the flooding down in Trout Creek. It was really great that she came and got to see firsthand what it looked like. I talked with her about the importance of still promoting the Okanagan as being a region that's open to visit this summer, and she joked that we have lots of wineries still, and that's one of the important things. But I have talked to a couple of people that work in Penticton at hotels, and they said that some of the bookings from Alberta are down. So it's really important to still promote that our region is open for business all summer. I welcomed the SILGA board on behalf of the mayor on Wednesday. They had a meeting here. Now that Councillor Boot is on the SILGA board, I guess they have rotating meetings through the community. So that was really nice to meet them all and welcome them here. And they had really nice things to say about Summerland. On Thursday, I attended our Rec Commission meeting, and it's a really great group of people to work with. They're looking forward to giving their feedback on the Giant's Head Trail Master Plan, there's an open house on that on Thursday, and I really hope that a lot of people attend because, in my opinion, Giant's Head is one of our greatest assets, and we really need to get everybody's feedback on the proposed trail plan. They're also looking forward to giving us help with the Recreation Master Plan as well. On Friday night, on behalf of the mayor again, I opened the Bluegrass Festival, and that was a lot of fun. I hadn't been to that before, even though I really do like bluegrass music. And it was interesting. It was definitely a cultural experience. When I asked how many people were from Summerland, not very many people put up their hands, so most were from out of town. And that was really great to see. They came from all over, from Washington and from all over BC. So it's obviously this thing that people love here to come to. So next year I think I'll try to get in a little bit more of that. And then finally on Sunday, I went to the first Summerland Sunday Market, and I wanted to congratulate the Rotary and all the vendors that participated in that. It was a really great event, and lots of people came out, and you can tell that this market is starting to gain momentum because the first market was just like riding a bike, like everybody was out again, the vendors were out. And so it's a really great activity, and I hope everybody gets to check it out. So congratulations to the Rotary on that. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, I checked out the market there on Sunday as well, and it was impressive. I got there sort of later in the morning, but it still was reasonably busy, so it looked pretty good. Okay, thank you. Now we have any questions, comments from the public?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Barbara Robson, 6708 McDonald Place, Summerland, regarding 13610 Banks Crescent update. In the memo of June 8th from Dean Strachan to Linda Tynan, just a question on June 8th, staff received a letter and report with the results and recommendations from the applicants on the alternate water source for the Freshwater Fisheries Society of BC hatchery facility. When does the public get to see that report, or is it already on the website?
It's actually attached to the report and was made public with the agenda.
I printed this off at home, and it wasn't in the package tonight, and it says see figure 1, but it didn't print from the website. Am I not looking in the right place?
I think Mr. May's probably.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look it up
and
again,
check it
but,
right now.
Thank you.
So it does show on my agenda online, so I can't explain why it didn't print off for you, but it is, and it will be updated on the website in the usual fashion tomorrow.
Correct.
Oh, okay, so it'd be available tomorrow? Thank you very much.
Is anybody else from the public like to speak?
Or Robson, 6708 McDonald Place. I wanted to just take this opportunity. I too was at the meeting on Thursday at the Lakeside for the Foundation Awards and the 25-year anniversary. Just so council is aware, and I'd like the media to be aware of this as well, our Summerland Charity Shop Society, we have over $500,000 invested in that foundation. We get about approximately $25,000 a year to put back into the community. However, we've been finding it difficult through the foundation to find resources to put that funding back into. And what I'd like to see is more applications from Summerland that would show our priorities, our youth. And I'd just like to see the community asking for funding so that we could contribute those funds to the community. We get, well, this year we were only able to give out $15,000. And that, a lot of that went to Penticton. And I want to see it come to the community. So, as chairman of the society, I'd like to see us putting that money back into the community. We do give money to the Giant's Head Food Foundation at their breakfast club, and we do give money to Agar Lake, Cops for Kids. Some of the smaller community organizations I'd like to see us support would be minor hockey, the cadets, the Cubs, the guides, some of the local community foundation or community clubs. And it's a very difficult application because the foundation makes it very difficult to apply because their applications are very extensive and they probably hinder the locals who are all volunteers to apply for those grants. So we're trying to get them to make it a little easier for the smaller grant applications. So just so that the community is aware, that's what we want to see. Thank you very much.
So, or before you sit down, so in what way do you feel that we might facilitate this a little bit?
Well, I think I wanted to get it out more to the community as to our concerns. And I think this is a good avenue and a good...
Yeah, I just hate to see money going wanting, as obviously you do.
Well, yes, and I mean, it is, we want to see it used locally.
Yeah.
We'd rather see it here than outside of the community. Thank you.
I was just wondering, is there anything we can do in our newsletter relative to something like that?
I think possibly I should mention it to Angelique Wood, our new community development coordinator, who's outreaching to the community groups, and as long as she's aware of it as well, she can certainly be of assistance if they need help navigating.
Yeah, the other thing is we've already earmarked $135,000 for the skateboard park, and I think that's our limit on that aspect. I just want to make sure that some of the other funding that we have is done locally as well. And if we can get it to the young people in our community, that's what I want to see.
If I may, or the Community Foundation also had a really good full day for people who want to apply to the grants, and they had a whole session on it so that people would know what the kinds of things that they needed to answer the question. And I know that Councillor Boot and myself attended that, and there were a number of groups from Summerland, so maybe there'll be a better response.
When was that?
That was this
Council?
past year. I can't remember
Okay.
when, or if it was one of the things.
Maybe
but they
just
put
before
up-
the applications were put in?
Yeah, and you could go to a whole workshop on it, and it was good.
Okay. Very complex, so the applications.
Yeah, they are very
They are,
complex.
but again, they were trying to simplify how you need and the way that, not to get too wordy. I mean, they had a lot of good recommendations around how to do it, but by all means, to identify that there's a problem and get to simplify it would be wonderful.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Thank you.
or perhaps through the CIO, you may want to try and reach out to our community coordinator to
Okay.
try and set something up, and I'm sure.
Which
our
department
CIO
is she with?
Pardon me?
She's in administration, she's the community development, so she reports to me, but her job focuses on working with those different groups, any volunteer group in Summerland, so, yeah, we
Thank
can
you.
talk further.
Okay. Thank you, Art. Okay, anybody else? Okay, anybody from the media? Yes. Todd.
Questions to Mr. Strachan, please. This evening, we received a report from the LART group with the detailed analysis on water content and temperature for the lake potential site. Were similar tests done on the other suggested sites that LART group had? Because several weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so, they had listed possibly 4 or 5 other sites that they might consider. And did they do similar detailed studies on those sites?
So the table they've provided outlines the alternative sources that they identified. So being the potable water as a source, the agricultural water as a potential source, as well as the well water as a potential source, and then Okanagan Lake as a potential source. So the table that's included in the package outlines those different options and what the data tells them about those different options. So it's within the report but I wouldn't necessarily call it a high level of detail. This is initial to look at where it's at right now with those components, and there's more detailed analysis required.
Perhaps I didn't read the report completely, but they did comparable analysis with all those potential sites.
Yes, they looked at the composition of the water and its temperature.
Thank you.
Okay, John, any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, council, entertain a motion for adjournment, please. Councillor Barco, seconder. Councillor Holmes, all in favor? Thank you. Carried.